Good afternoon, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with the next puzzle in the Hamilton Sudoku series. This is Unimaginable by Angelica Schuyler. Now, of course, the puzzles in the Hamilton Sudoku series, if you're not interested in musicals or Hamilton, then just enjoy the puzzle. That's what they're about. But this puzzle has an incredible special meaning. Not the puzzle, well, the song that this puzzle is around, which is It's Quiet Uptown, has an incredibly special meaning to me. It was one of my father's, I don't know if favourite songs is relevant to say, but I remember talking to my father about it. And the song, I mean, spoiler for American history, this song is about the loss of about the loss of Alexander and Eliza's son, and it is about. It always hit my parents hard, particularly. And I chatted to my father about this because they had a son that died before I was born, and so I never knew my brother, and this song is one that always made him think of my brother. And I remember seeing this show with him just a couple of hours, or a couple of weeks before he passed away, and him sitting just watching the stage, enraptured with what's going on and crying, and I knew what was going through his mind, and he wasn't it wasn't just pure sadness. It was being able to remember and having the feelings of that expressed so beautifully. And then a few weeks later, as I said, he passed away, and I saw the show again a couple of days after his memorial, and this song ripped me apart. And there's something about this. There's a moment in this song which I consider to be one of the most beautiful in the entire musical, but it always felt weird to me on the soundtrack. And it's in, pardon me, in this. Have I got something in my teeth? What a horrible thing to have. In this, there's a moment where Eliza forgives Alexander for what she felt him partly being responsible for the death of their son. And that forgiveness moment always felt weird on the soundtrack. And even in the Disney Plus performance, it feels a bit weird. But when you see the full stage performance, in the moments leading up to that, the entire ensemble, literally everyone, is on the stage surrounding them on the outskirts of the stage. And for the bit about 40 seconds before that, they're all moving away from Alexander, distancing themselves from him. And when Eliza forgives him, that reverses and they all start coming back in. And those little movements, they're tiny movements on stage, barely perceptible, but when everyone is doing it, then it just feels like there's this movement away and then this wash back together. And that whole feeling on stage, it's just overpowering. And you don't see it on the Disney Plus performance, and you definitely don't get it from the soundtrack. And it is so beautiful. And I cannot express how much this track means to me. Now it's time to see whether this puzzle can come to that at all. So this is Unimaginable by Angelica Schuyler. This has got a rule set I often struggle with. In fact, it's got two. So we'll see how I go. So how does this puzzle work? Normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Each letter represents a unique digit from 1 to 9. So, for example, U will be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. N will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They will be unique. So whatever U is, N can't be. Or let's pick something which can't repeat. I and A cannot be the same digit, even though they don't see each other here. They do here, but you'll get what I mean. G and E, for example, cannot be the same digit. They are unique digits. Clues above the grid, this unimaginable, double-digit numbers giving the sum of the first n digits in the column, where n is the value of the first digit in that column. So this is x sums. And what it means is whatever this two-digit number is, if this was, say, a 4, the sum of those or whatever this two-digit number is, say U was 2 and N was 1, then these would be summed to 21, because this is the first 4 digits in that column. I have no idea if this can how this is going to work, but X sums I always stumble over, and letter I always struggle over. So that's going to be very, very weird. Cells separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. Not all dots are necessarily given. The light tan is just cosmetic. The light tan line. So the light tan line doesn't actually signify anything. It's just showing the shape of the letters in the heart. I when this came through, it was originally a grey line. I changed it to Angelica's colour in the musical. I actually extracted the colour from Angelica's dress in order to create the line. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Sorry everyone, as you can probably tell by the complete lack of sunlight behind me now, it's been several hours, in fact most of a day, since I started to try and record this puzzle. I actually had a massive problem with this puzzle, and I'm not sure if it's what led to the seizure or was I was struggling because of the seizure and migraine I had shortly after. There's been medical assistance involved and strong medication. And I'm now trying to present this puzzle in the best light that I can. I've actually had someone help me work through this puzzle because I am not at my medical best right now. But I still want to present the puzzles to the community because this is all about the puzzles. It's not about me. So what I'm going to do now is I've got an idea of the path of this. I have worked through it before, but I am not at my best, and a lot has happened to me since then. What I'm going to do is let's give this a shot. This is not a blind solve. So, but I'm going to try and rediscover the stuff as we go. I'm very sorry about this. So, what do we have? So we've got these X sum clues at the top of the grid, and we can tell an X sum clue cannot have a possible 2-digit value lower than 12 because it has to be a 2-digit value, so it has to start with at least a 1. And 11 doesn't work because you're repeating the 1 in these 2-digit numbers, and there's no there's no UU or II or AA or anything in here, or LL. And you can't use 10 because 0 is not a valid Sudoku digit, and all of these letters are valid Sudoku digits. So they have to be at least 12. But apart from that, the highest we can get is 45, which is the sum of all of the digits that could be in the column. So U, I, A, and L, which are the 3 different numbers that could start it all, have to be 1 through 4 because I have to have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. I can't use 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 in those. So U, I, A, and L are 1, 2, 3, and 4. And none of these other letters can be 1, 2, 3, 4. But where it matters, because the letters are unique values. Now, where it matters is here, because if this was a 1, N would have to be a 2, but we know N is not 2, so this can't be a 1. 2 would mean N would have to be 1 or 4, but 1, 2, 3, and 4 are taken, so it can't be 2. So this is 3 or 4. Now, if it's 3, it's 6, and if it's 4, it can't be 2, because N can't be 2, and it has to be 8. So we end up with this situation. But and it took me a bit to discover this the first time, and this is I'm going to try and stop saying that. But if this was 4, 8, then what we have is these. If you look at them, we've got unimaginable across the top, which is beautiful, particularly considering we've got unimaginable all around the heart as well. Beautiful design, but because these two are these two, if this was 4, 8, whatever this X sum clue would be would have to sum to 48, and that doesn't work. So this has to be the 3, and this has to be the 6. And U, or I, A, and L cannot be 3. Now we have to think about, I'm actually going to be stumped again, aren't I? Right. What can M be? Because it can't be 1, 2, or 4, and it can't be 6. And because of the way black dots work, you have the situation where black dots, one digit has to be low, the other one has to be even because of the doubling. One doubles to two, two doubles to four, three doubles to six, four doubles to eight. You can never use 5, 7, 9. So I can't use 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't use 6 and I can't use 5, 7, 9. So this has to be the 8, which means this is the 4, and A and I can no longer be 4. So A and I are 1 and 2, which means L is 4, which means LE has to be something that starts with 4. Now, E can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4, and if it was higher than 5, then this column would have to sum to more than 45, which is impossible. The maximum sum of all of the digits 1 to 9 is 45. So E becomes 5, and LE is a 45 column, and this entire column is included in this X sum clue. Now, we've got B, N, and G left over as the 5, 7, and 9 clues, and we know that B is not 5. Okay, so what do we have now? Now, we've got that this U clue, UN, is a 36 clue. Now, what can this digit be? It can be 1, 2, and I know it can't, but we'll get to that in a minute. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but there's something I have missed. Oh, this is a 9 because this X sum clue, that's what I've missed. I told you I'm not at my best. This X sum clue has to take the entire thing. So this cannot be a 9. Now, if this is a 1, an X sum clue that is a 1 can only be a 1. So this cannot be a 1. If this is a 2, now this has to get to 36, but the maximum a 2 clue could be anyway is 11 because of the fact that 2, 9, which is the maximum you could be, is 11. But all of these clues have to be at least 12. So none of these can be 2, but this can't be a 2. So this is a 6, a 7, or an 8. So how does that work? Now, if this is an 8, all of those would sum to 36, which means this would have to be a 9. But that doesn't work because you can never put 9, a high odd digit, on a black dot. So this can't be 8. So this is 6 or 7. So either those digits are the X sum or that digit is also included in the X sum. So can we go any further with that? Well, the answer is actually yes. Because if this is a 6, those digits there would have to sum to 9. Now, there's 3 ways of making 9. You could have 1, 2, 6, which wouldn't be possible because I've put a 6 there. There is 1, 3, 5, which wouldn't be possible because there's a 5 in the column, or 2, 3, 4, which is not possible because I've put a 4 in the column. So this has to be a 7, and this digit is included in the X sums clue, which means these have to sum to 9. And there's only one way of doing that on a black dot, 3, 6. 1, 2 is 3, 2, 4 is 6, and 4, 8 is 12. 3, 6 is the only possibility. So that gives me this one. Now I can ask the question, because I know that A and I are 1 and 2, the maximum these could be as clues are 29 as the maximum they could be. But if I was to put an 8 in here, what is the minimum I could put on the X sum clue? Well, 1 through 8 added together is 36, I think. Something like that. Yes, 36. So if I was to put an 8 on here, I can't keep it down to 29. So I could never put an 8 in any of those cells. I also can't put an 8 in those cells. So this becomes an 8. Now an 8 goes into one of those 3. But now there's... Why did I put 5, 7, 9 there? That is completely wrong because this is the N clue and this becomes the 6 because this is the 5 and this is not the 5. These are a 7, 9 pair. People, I hope you've been yelling at the screen for that. I apologize for my current state. Anyway, as I said before, you can never put 1 or 2. I'm so sorry. This is not my best day. I could never... It feels easier to just swim down. It's been a rough day. So you can never put 1 or 2 on any of these clues because these have to be a minimum of 12, and 1 doesn't get me there, and 2, 1 need 11, 2 need 10. It just doesn't work. So this becomes a 1-2 pair, but this is a black dot. If this is a 1, this is a 2, and that has no fill. So I end up with 2, 4, and 1, and these digits become 3, 4, 5, and 6, but there's already a 6 in this box. So that becomes a 3, 4, 5 triple in the row, which is very, very cool. Now, What else can I do? I'm assuming there's something else I can do, and I just can't remember what it is. This 2 looks down, making this 1, which makes this 2. So A is 1, so this becomes 1, and I is 2. Okay, so we know that this is a 28 clue. So, oh, and we know this is a 6. So this is 28 in 6. Now, 28 in 6, we know the entire column is 45. 45 minus 28 is 17, so these have to add to 17. Now, this can't be 3, 6. If it was 1, 2, this would have to be 17 minus 3 is too high. If this is 2, 4, this would still have to be 11. So this has to be 4, 8. So what we've got here is we've got 28 plus 12, which is 40, and this has to be the 5. So that is another cool one. Now what do we have? AB is either 17 or 19. Now, IN is 26. If this was a 3 clue, these would have to sum to 23. But the maximum you can put in 2 cells is 8, 9, which is 17. So this can't be a 3 to get that to 26. Now, if this was a 3, this would be a 2, and I couldn't get to 17 or 19 because this would need to be a 12 or a 14. So this can't be a 3 either, and this becomes a 3. So I know that this clue here, let's make it blue again, this clue here is the AG here, and it's 17 or 19. Now this is already 9. If this was 19, this would have to be a 10. It can't be. So this is the 7, this is the 9, and now this has to sum to 17. I've got 9, this becomes the 8, and there's no 8 in here. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 7, and 9. Okay. And now I know that IN is 26 in either 4 or 5, and AB is 19 in either 4 or 5. And I vaguely remember at this point that this can go lots of different ways. One thing that matters is this 3, 6 pair. I can't put 3, 6 in any of those cells, so this is a 3, 6 pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 5, 7. That 7 makes this 5 and this 7. 7 is now down here. That 7 takes 7 out of there. So this row, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4, and 9 go in those. That's not a 4. But 1, 4, and 9, not 7. And this becomes the 4 because of the 1, 9 pair. 5 is in one of those 3, but there's 2 5s looking up. So this is 5. And these are now 1, 2, and 9 and must have a 2 in them. These, well, there's no 9 there because these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 7. That can't be a 7 because there's a 7 in the box. That can't be a 7, so that's the 7, and this is a 1, 2. In this column, I need to put an 8. I can't put an 8. Well, basically, there's an 8 looking at all of those, and this is a 4, 5, so this becomes an 8. Now that looks across taking 8 out of those. That 8 means there's no 8 there. There's 8 in one of those two. So this dot, well, this dot can't have a 1 on it. It can't have an 8 on it, and it can't be 3, 6. So this is 2, 4. Okay. This is 2 or 9 because that's all that's missing from this column. So can I do something up here? I've been stuck on this puzzle a couple of times, and I honestly am still a bit unclear on how this one goes. I'm really sorry. I forgot to restart the puzzle to restart my timer as well, again. So I know 4 is down here. 4 is also down here because I can't put 4 in those cells or those cells. But what can I do up here? Now, AB is 19. If this is 4, those would sum to 6. And these two would have to sum to 13. I couldn't use 1, 12. 7 would need a 6, which I don't have. And 9 would need a 4, which I don't have. This can't be a 4. This is a 5. So that is all of those. And this is the 4, and that is all of those. And that's the column sizes of the X-sum clues. Now this 4 is IN, which is this, 26. So these get to 26. So these have to sum to 22. Now I can't use a 1 in them, because if I use a 1 in them, the other two cells would have to sum to 21, and I can't get to 21 in two cells. So there's no 1 there. This is 9, this is 7, this is 1. These are 16, these are 20, and I need to get to 26. So that's the 6. These are 8, and I need to get to AB is 19. So these sum to 11. Well, I can't use 9, 2. I could use 3, 8. I could use 4, 7, but I can't use 5, 6. Well, I can't, sorry, 4, 7. Well, I can't put 4 there, so that's not the 4, and that's not the 7. Oh, I can't put 4 there either. That's not 4, and that's not 7. And it was 3, 8, not 3, 9. 3, 8 in here to get to the 11 that I need to complete this. So this is a 3, 8 pair. 8's are lining up. Oh, I've already got the 8. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4, 7, and 9. Well, there's no 9 there. This is a 4 or a 7. 9 is now in one of those two. What can this be now? Well, it can't be 3, 6, and it can't be 2, 4, or 4, 8. So this is 1, 2. There's no 4 there, and this 2 makes this the 1 and this the 2, which makes this the 1, this the 2, and there's no 2 there. This is a 1, 9 pair. Okay. The 1, 9 pair looks down, making that 2. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no 6 there. There's no 2 there. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And there's no 1 there. And I've kind of done with the clues. All of the dots are resolved. And all of the X-sum clues are resolved. So it's just down to Sudoku now. Oh, 2 and 2. So there's no 2 there. This is a 3, 6 pair. That is a 2. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, and 9. Well, there's a 3, 8 there, which means that's the 9, and there's no 9 there. This is a 3 or an 8. So these 3 cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 4, 5, 7. There's no 4. Whoops. There's no 4 there. There's no 7 there. That's the 5. That's not a 5. This is a 4, 7 pair. So this triple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are 3, 5, and 6, and the 5 must be in here. And that's not the 5 there. So that's a 3, 6 pair, and that's a 5. 8, 9 here is looking across, taking 8, 9 out of those, and 8, 9 up here is taking 8, 9 out of those. So this must be an 8, 9 pair. Where could 9 go in this box, basically? It can't go in any of those cells. That's the 9. And where does 8 go now? It can't go in any of those cells. That's the 8. And this is a 3, 6 pair. Now I've got a 3, 6 pair in the column. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 5, and 7. That's not a 1. That's not a 5. This is a 3-6 pair because that's all that's missing in this column, giving me a 3-6 pair in the row. Does that matter for this? Maybe, because this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. And that can't be the 3. So this is a 5 or an 8 because of the 3-6 pair. Not as helpful as I would like. Oh, this 8 looks in, making this 3 and this 8. This triple is 2, 4, and 7. 2 is in one of those two. Oh, this 2 looks back, making that 4 and that 2, which looks in meaning that's not 2, so this is the 2. I'm still not breaking this open, am I? Even with having seen the solution path basically given to me. This 4 looks back, making this 8 and this 4. That means this is not the 8. This 4 is now a 7. Oh, sorry. This 4, 7 is now a 7 because of the 4, which makes that 4 and that 7, taking 7 out of those. That is a 4, 9 pair. But hang on, I can't put 4 there because of that. That's the 9. That's the 4. There's no 4 there. This is 3, 5, 8. This is 3, 5, 7, 9 for the row, but there's a 5, 7 in the column. So it's 3 or 9. That's not resolving that in any useful way. This 5 has made that 8. So this is 3, 5. So these are 1, 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 1, 7, and 9, but 1 and 7 have to be in there. That's the 9. So there's no 9 there, which means this is 3, this is 6, which looks up making that 3 and that 6, which looks down making that 3 and that 6. The 3 looks across making that 6 and that 3. This column is missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is an 8. I could have done it by the box. This 6 looks across making that the 3 and that the 6. This 7 means there's no 7 there or there. The 3 looks back making that the 5 and that the 3. The 5 looks across making that the 7, which means this is the 1 and this is the 5. The 7 look back making that the 9, that the 1 and that the 7. And I still need to resolve up the top here. The 1 makes that the 9 and that the 1. Look at where we are. Look at where we started. Thank you for going through the unimaginable. Thank you for solving. Now, that 72 minutes, I don't believe it took me that long. According to the video, I presented this in just over 20, but the first time I tried to solve this, I think I got stuck after close to 40 minutes, and there's been a whole day of just nightmare, not around stuff and medical stuff today. So I would like to thank everyone for putting up with my when I have issues like this and I cannot present a blind solve. But what matters most is the puzzle. And if you get stuck and if you have issues, that I have shown you, presented something that will allow you to get through it, and I can showcase the beautiful logic in the puzzle. Yes, there were no moments of true discovery in this, which this puzzle definitely deserved, but I'm hoping that this was something that you could appreciate anyway. And I apologize. It's part of being a content creator that's trying to do what I am doing. But as long as I'm supporting the community, that's what matters to me. This is not me trying to big name myself or prove how great a solver I am. Sometimes I'm terrible, and today was one of those days. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you could find the beauty that this puzzle definitely has. And as always, good luck with your solving.